Happy Friday and welcome back to Danny's Media. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin this sad, shocking news by asking this question. Was there anything like justice behind the death of the late teacher Albert Ojwang from Ouma County, apart from 2 million that William Ruto donated to the family of the late Albert Ojwang? Was there anything like just
He's saying no, let us make sure that this guy is arrested and all. What was Ojwang discussing that made this man kill him? It's corruption. The reason this young man was killed, he said the police service receives close to 56 billion shillings every year. This is the story. This is the big thing in this house.
Because we all understand that Albert Ojwang was arrested in Ouma County, then taken to Mayugo Police Station before he was driven all along from Ouma County to Nairobi Central Police Station, where he met with his death. Then later on, DIG Lagat was accused behind the death of Albert Ojwang, where he pretended to be stepping aside while investigation was undergoing. What happened after the burial? What happened after the burial? DJ Angat alidudi kazi. The officers that were sent to go and do that crime hawakuchajiwa. Kila mtu alirudi kwa kazi yake. Apart from being taken to other stations, walitolewa hapo wakapelekwa kwa nini zingine, but there was nothing like justice. DJ Langat was not arrested, was not charged, he just pretended to be stepping aside. And this is something that is going to happen behind the death of youth mobilizer Cecil Omar that was shot dead inside a vehicle of youth PS Fikirini Jacob. That is what will happen. There will be nothing like justice behind the death of youth mobilizer Cecil Omar that was shot dead by a bodyguard of a youth PS Fikirini Jacob.
Bwana Fikiri is the prime suspect in this fatal shooting and ultimate murder of our brother Cecil. And so on that account alone, the PS by now, under moral obligation, should have already stepped aside. But because he has no moral consciousness, we are asking President William Ruto to relieve him of his duty promptly and immediately. And what we're also saying that by now, we don't expect the PS Fikiri to be moving around, continuing with the life as normal. We expect that by now the police leadership should have by now arrested him and put him behind bar, pending completion of investigation.
Take that one to the bank. Nawaambia ukweli, hakuna justice yenye itafanyika kwa hii kifo ya youth mobilizer Cecil Omar. But as we speak right now, Kenyans have totally rejected the apology from youth PS called Fikirini Jacob over the fatal shooting of youth mobilizer Cecil Omar. Wakenya wamekataa, but what I know is that there will be nothing like justice behind the death of Cecil Omar.
Toka kwa ofisi enda. Then mnakuja tunanindwa debate. Akamatwe na huyo bodyguard wake. Walipanga njama ya kuua huyo kijana. Wao walimpea kazi ya kumobilize vijana. Then malipa kuna anapigwa risasi. Then baada ya kapo ofisa kufanya nini? Wote wawili wakamatwa wajibishwe. Mwaje kudanganya ndugu zangu. Ila kuna timuti alikuwa juu baada jamaa anajuana huyu jamaa. Nimerudia. Nikiwa jalasa niite, niingie kwa gari yake nipigwe risasi. Unanisema kwa jalasa ni juu? Bana, nataka kuambia serikali kabla vitu siribike, hata waziri watatuta. Mbunge huyu naibu waziri na huyu bodyguard wake wakamatwe. Na kando kamatwa wote waachishwe kazi. Hakuna ofisi ya umma ambao watakuwa tena. Waende wakiende. Unless aende chaguliwa na tag na wauaji wenzake kule Kilifi County. Lakini sio wa Kenya jumla. Wewe kaka ofisi. Unaua kijana wetu mjaluo mwenzetu. Tena chukua vitu normal. Tukuje tukupigie makofi. Makosa ni makosa ushafanya. Hatukutaki, hatukutambui. Chukua virago zako.
I have come to realize that here in Kenya, so long as you work closer to the government, even if you kill someone, you abduct someone, you do something wrong to someone, don't bother yourself. Don't even panic. Hakuna Kenya huyu PS atafanywa.
My name is Fikirini Jacobs, the PS for the State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. I first and foremost want to take this opportunity to send my heartfelt sympathies and condolences to the family, friends and loved ones of the late comrade Cecil Omar, following his very tragic and untimely death. The circumstances around Cecil's death remain distressing and are of course subject of active investigations. I believe no family should have to endure such a tragic loss. I believe no youth should have his life end the way Cecil's did, and as such I have responded to an invitation by the investigating agencies to record my statement as to what really transpired. And already I think as it was shared, 7 people, including 2 or 3 from my office, have already been summoned and equally shared their side. And my commitment is I will continue to make myself available for any investigation pertaining this tragic death. We will continue to support and make myself available upon request by the investigative agencies who are actively digging into this, so that
instead of even stepping aside, is asking for apology. Which kind of apology yet you have killed someone?
Now it's official. A post-mortem examination conducted today at Chiromo Mortuary has confirmed that Cecil Omar died from severe internal and external bleeding caused by a single close-range gunshot wound. Ouma was fatally shot on Tuesday evening, shortly after attending a youth empowerment forum hosted by Youth Affairs Principal Secretary Fikirini Jacobs, with investigators focusing on those who were inside the PS's vehicle at the time of the shooting. Pressure is mounting on Fikirini to step aside as ballistic examinations on the recovered bullet gets underway. KTN Security Affairs reporter Francis Ontomwa kickstarts our broadcast tonight.
In the streets of Eastlands, Cecil Ouma was known as a fearless political mobilizer and an influential grassroots strategist. At just 28, his life will end while carrying out those very duties. This photograph was taken only moments before his death, unaware that within minutes he will be gone forever.
He died as a result of a single gunshot wound to the left side of the chest, and there was a lot of bleeding.
A joint post-mortem examination by government and independent pathologists has laid bare the brutality of a killing that has sent shockwaves through Kenya's political landscape.
The bullet entered to the left forearm around the elbow region, then went through and entered the chest, puncturing the lungs, and then through the spine, fractured the spine, and then was lodged behind the spine where we retrieved the bullet.
Just who wanted Cecil Ouma dead and why? Those are the questions investigators are trying to answer as pressure mounts on Fikirini to step aside and allow an independent investigation. The PS has for the first time recorded a statement with detectives and publicly addressed Cecil Ouma's family, not face to face, but through the media.
to send my heartfelt sympathies and condolences to the family, friends and loved ones of the late comrade Cecil Omar. My commitment is I will continue to make myself available for any investigation.
Ouma had attended Tuesday's event and had reportedly been tasked with collecting money for those who had turned up. Witness account indicate he was later invited into the PS vehicles where an altercation is said to have broken out before the fatal shot was fired.
So conflict kwanza wanapiga huyu jamaa ndani ya gari na sisi tunasikia kio ile pu.
Human rights groups say establishing exactly what happened inside that vehicle is now critical.
This was very intentional. It was close range shooting. The aim is to kill.
Whatever triggered the confrontation, rights activists argue that no disagreement justifies the use of lethal force. Kenya's police watchdog IPOA now faces mounting pressure to determine who fired the shot, whether the firearm was lawfully used, and whether criminal charges should follow. Cecil Omar's death reigniting debate on the use and misuse of firearms by those entrusted with protecting public officials.
Beyond the witness statements and the public outrage that has greeted this matter, today's forensic evidence will play critical in helping to piece together what exactly happened in the last moments of Cecil Omar. This even as ballistic exam.
Mulimchukua mkaenda mkamtumia vibaya, akamobilize crowd, then baadaye mnamuua surely. Tuache hizi upuzi bana. There will be nothing like justice behind the death of Cecil Omar. If DIG Langat alituma watu wakaenda wakabduct Albert Ojwang, wakampeleka Omega police station, baada ya hapo akaletwa Central police station, hakuna kenye ilifanyika. Like right now, DCI are now pretending that they are investigating the death of Cecil Omar. They are just pretending, yet they have everything. Evidence is there, kila kitu iko, but they are still pretending. They are pretending that they are investigating this case, yet they are covering it, which is true. Mbona hata msishike basi the bodyguard? Why don't you people arrest the bodyguard? Yeah, why don't you even arrest the bodyguard so that the family can see that, oh, justice is underway? Mbona msishike mlinzi wake hata moja? That is what Kenyans want. That is what family wants. These youth peers should be arrested or step aside while investigation is still undergoing. But there is nothing like investigation. The DCI officers, IPOA people, they're just covering the evidence. They're just covering the PSS, that PS together with this security from this matter. Hakuna kitu kama justice yenye itafanyika hapa. Even if Kenyans go to the street to protest, there will be nothing like justice. Whereby, during the judgment of Rigathi Gachagua at Milimani Law Court some weeks ago, that is the day that I noticed that there is nothing like law in this country of Kenya. Those judges, they totally buried our law. They killed our law. Even if they hate Rigathi Gachagua, but on that day, our judges in this country of Kenya did something very wrong. They totally buried the law of Kenya once and for all. There is nothing like law in this country of Kenya. The government of William Samoei Ruto is not following the constitution of this country of Kenya. They are doing things as they want. Because what is the work of the DCI officers? Is to investigate and have the evidence behind any crime that have been committed. But right now, evidence is there. Kila kitu iko, but they are still pretending as if nothing happened. Mtu amekufa, but apology ndio iko. Wakenya wamekataa hiyo maneno ya apology. Thank you so much and may God bless you, my great viewers. Asanteni sana na Mungu azidi kuwa bariki. Bye bye.